Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and for today's video on Umamusume, we're going to take a look at the upcoming support cards banners that will be dropping here in the next couple days. And that's going to be the Inari One SR power card, and then the Manhattan Cafe SSR stamina card. And so first, we'll just go ahead and take a look at the cards, what skills come with them, their stat sticks, and whether or not you might want to pull in this banner. And first, we'll start off with the SR card here, which is going to be the Inari One power card. And so one of the things with power cards, like we always generally see, is they're mostly for parents, and they can be very tricky to use in ace runs. But they generally tend to have pretty good skills that you want to pick up and can be good for parents. Now, I will say SR cards are never going to be the reason you're going to want to pull on a banner, with one exception being Admire Vega going into Make a New Track. But we'll talk about that when we actually get to it. You probably already heard me talk a lot about it if you watch me stream. But on this one, we have increased effectiveness of friendship training, 10% alongside 25% naturally. So decent stat stick there. It does have stamina gain, which is a nice thing. When I do use power cards, which is very sparingly, or try to use them within an ace build, you pretty much want to have stamina gain just to make sure you can hit your stamina requirements. It can be kind of tricky, and you have to make it really work with the sparks. And that can make it a little bit easier. You have that alongside power bonus, so she does get power and stamina. Very minimal training effectiveness, though. And then special priority, so she will land it on a little bit more with a decent friendship bonus. But you'll see one big negative is she doesn't have any race bonus. So going into Make a New Track coming up here in the next couple months, she's going to be useless. You do not want to be bringing a card with 0. You want to try and shoot for 10%. But you can make some 5% works, and she has none. So she's not going to have any value going into it. But it's an SR card. You're not going to pull specifically for her, so on the stat sticks for that. And then when it comes to the skills, there's nothing too crazy here. Decent amount of greens for potential future ones. You have Tail Held High, Winter Runner, which is a little bit more rare. But we already have the free card Yukino that you can kind of use to cover that. But it has a couple other greens with that. So if you're trying to build like that generic front runner that has a lot of the greens, Tail Held High can be pretty good. Then I could say using this in a parent build. But like I said, you're not going to pull over this card. Nothing too crazy on it. So let's just go ahead now and look at the main reason you would be pulling on this banner if you're going to pull on it is the SSR stamina card Manhattan Cafe. And kind of just looking at it with minimal dupes here in case you want to just pull over like 1 LB or less, and then potentially MLBing it in the future with the anniversary selectors and whatnot. Manhattan Cafe, though, has increased training effectiveness, or increases the effectiveness of friendship training 10% unique, and then stamina gain on the stat stick here. So she's pretty massive on her actual stamina stick. So she's going to be one of those cards that can really carry you on the stamina side of things. With the friendship bonus, and then you do have stamina bonus there, so even more off of the stamina stat stick. She has initial stamina, starts with the initial friendship gauge pretty decently high, so you're gonna be a lot quicker getting to that friendship bonus. Special priority, so she'll land there more often. Race bonus 10%, so she'll be very usable at MLB in Make a New Track. 5% if you get the 3 limit break, and you don't unlock it until that. Mandatory at least 3 LB going into Make a New Track if you were to get it. Now, if you're willing to spend money, you can get 2 selectors there that you could apply to this. So all you would need is 2 LB, then MLB it, if this was a target for you. But we'll kind of talk about that here in a second. And then you have hint levels 2 with hint frequency 30%. Now, when we look at the support hints, it's just your stamina ML or the SR Manhattan Cafe skills here. It's basically exactly the same here. Now, the big thing is all SSRs come with their own gold one, a gold skill, which you don't have on the SRs, and hers is Stamina Siphon. And being a stamina card, you do want a recovery coming with it. And she's a really strong stat stick in her own right. And this is a recovery, even though it's a debuff in the sense that it does a stamina drain. But it's a very weak stamina drain. It's like nothing compared to like a Mystifying Murmur. And a big downside to it when you're bringing a heal is one, you only can use it on long, so you can't use it as a medium heal, and it's only a 0.035. And the skills that have 0.035s, I would much more prefer them on a medium versus a long, where you really probably need to get that 0.055, especially when it's coming to the longer races, which the first Make a New Track one will be a 3200 on the Hanshin racetrack. And this one, while it can be a nice, easy one to apply, you're going to be better off with something like Swinging Maestro, of course, as well as many of the others that are applied to the positions. So I really wouldn't see it being good as a heal in that respect. And it's going to cost just as much. And the extra debuff on top of it doesn't make up for the lack of stamina there. Of course, you have non-standard distance for the non-standard distance races, like the Arima Keenan, which is coming up here soon with Sagittarius Cup. And so kind of looking at it, my thoughts on it, very, very good stamina stat stick. But, I mean, just because the recovery alone just isn't good enough. Nothing too crazy on the skills. And you can already get those from the SR version of it if you just want to take another stamina card. Use your Super Creak or borrow for the Swinging Maestro. Hopefully you have Kita-san Black, so you have now that option to borrow whatever you need. Or if you really want to use this card, because you think you like the card, you like the stamina slave, and you think it'll work because it's got such a strong stat stick, just borrow it. I think this is going to be a very good borrow card for that situation, if you find that it's worth it. But other than that, yeah, I would definitely skip this one. We have way too many other good cards kind of coming up. Now, looking at these upcoming cards, for example, if you're wanting to whale out, you already have like literally the next banner after Manhattan Cafe being the Nice Nature Rerun. 15% race bonus, has on your left a very good stat stick for wit alongside fine motion. And so you can whale her out if you haven't already pulled when she originally came out with the rerun. She is paired with Ogre Cat Power, which not all that useful, but it is. I mean, it's another SSR card that could potentially see use if you end up MLBing, if you need Furious Feet off of it. And then you also have like TM Opera, a Meta Inherit, and of course, if you really want to whale out for Make a New Track, you have the Speed Fuku card, which is kind of a speed mixed with a PAL card, and will be very, very strong and Make a New Track. And potentially in the future, paired with, but there's a ton of other speed cards you'd probably use over this later down the road. So if you're someone that just likes to whale out on cars that maybe aren't like very general use advised ones like Super Creak, Fine Motion, Kita-san Black, you still already have better options than even Manhattan Cafe coming up. And then, of course, if we get into the 2022, you're just going to be getting hammered with a bunch of stuff you're going to want if you're wanting to go crazy on your pulls. I mean, you have Valentine's Bourbon. I'd even say the Valentine's support card banner. These are going to be easy skips for most people, but if you really want to whale, these are pretty decent cards to try and MLB. And it's always nice to be able to pull on a banner like this that has two SSRs versus an SSR and an SR, as you basically have a 50-50 shot every time you pull an SSR of getting one of the two on banner here. And, of course, Fine Motion alongside Kita-san Black and NTR. We can go on and on. There's so many other things coming up. And so, unless you're, to me, like a Leviathan spender, then I feel like Manhattan Cafe has potential as a good borrow for a lot of people, but she's going to be a pretty easy skip for most people. And so that'll be pretty much it. That's my thoughts on Manhattan Cafe SSR Stamina. And if you like my content, if you like, comment, subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.